Alrighty, so good evening. There's gonna be quite a few things we do tonight. But first things first, let's actually make sure the stream is going. Um, let's look. I need to go ahead and close you out. On here is business, and then we'll go here. I already have you open, so I can go ahead and go check on YouTube and make sure it's going. That's kind of important. Gotta make sure on my channel. So let's see. Yep, project work AI model training. It says I'm live, so make sure it's a smooth video. Let me put up on my phone, I suppose, because it's being a pain. It says this browser cannot run it. Chromite. I mean, it doesn't have the API plugged in, so that's probably what it is. Dashboard. Refresh. I guess I can just go to the YouTube app. Let's see. YouTube. No, I don't want to do YouTube Premium. Screw that. Go to mine. Cool. Let's make sure I can hear myself. Go to the YouTube app. There we go. Yeah, we're good. Okay. So what we're gonna do today, as I said, we're actually gonna be working on a few things. So it is me and just Dad who generally work on our projects, right? So in order to try to get productivity to go higher, I'm actually gonna be training some models to help us. Some people aren't gonna like that. I don't care. We're gonna do what's better for us in the long term for this. If you haven't been paying attention, we try not to bring too many political things into this. However, stuff with Colorado and California, they are now making where you have to have a requirement for basically showing your ID every time or saying your age every single time you log in. And that's dumb. Eventually, it'll probably go across the rest of the U.S. We haven't quite figured out what we're going to do with that yet. Something we're still thinking about. I have a couple of solutions. I don't really like them, but because it's not just the big operating systems, right? It's all of them, which kind of sucks, like a lot. I will probably just convince them to have us comply. I mean, I don't know what else we can do, right? Like, it's not like we have the resources to go fight the U.S. government in court. We just don't. And even then, this is the way where my brain comes in, right? I'm not telling you to do this, to be clear. If I convince them and we do comply, there's nothing from, somebody wanting to go figure out where it is and remove it or anything. Again, I'm not telling you to do that. I'm saying there's nothing stopping you. So there is that. Okay, so as you can see here though, let's go ahead and switch on over to scene 2 so you can see what I'm doing. This is actually Windows. You just can't tell it's Windows. I modified the absolute bejesus out of it. Yeah, I was doing the AI model right here. This one is for managing commit messages and whatnot, making sure they hit a certain quality standard, I suppose, because I get lazy about it sometimes and I'll be like, nah, you can't do that, and I'll be like, okay, fine. Let me see. So as you can see here, it's kinda, yep, that's totally fine. I need model to be local and low resource use. Okay, if you're wondering, I have made a bunch of different utilities for this installation. The reason I'm using Windows at all is because of the audio drivers and the video drivers. Unfortunately, the Linux stuff still kind of sucks in that department. That's why. And as you can see on here, I'm actually remoted into the server in there. I'm also setting up on my left monitor here. You can't see it, but you'll see it here in a few minutes. RDP session on a different port from the one on there so that I can remote in from this machine and show you guys what we're doing on here. Because this one's actually running Accretion, the one to my left. Kind of to my left. My monitor's to the left, the other laptop's actually to my right, but whatever. It doesn't matter. That right now is building the DKMS module, so it'll be just a few minutes for that. It's not a super fast little machine, but it's enough to get work done and be able to remote in and that type of thing. Let's see. Initialize the system. Fine. Alright, I need local and low resource use. I need to only monitor commit messages and modify them to be developer friendly and socially appropriate. I know it's sad I have to do this. I'm partially training this model because Dad and I are both intelligent people. However, we have a very bold way of speaking sometimes, and not everybody appreciates that. So think of this like almost a translation layer, right? Like it's going to communicate what we want to communicate, but in such a way that other people aren't going to get offended. Because we don't intend it that way, but it might come across that way, right? We're trying to help a bunch of people. It's like this is being used as an accessibility tool to make things a little bit easier. I know, excuse me, I'm sorry. In the past, there's been problems on places like the kernel. If you go look at a lot of their posts, you gotta be careful, right? Because you'll see different developers get yelled at because they're different. It's not even, I guess, so much that they're different. It's more so the way they communicate comes across as disrespectful, but that was not the intention. I mean, look at a Bcachefs developer and that whole shabacle. I don't even think the guy intentionally meant to hurt people's feelings. He was just very passionate about what he did, and he got kicked off because of that, and they left it out of the kernel because of a miscommunication. That's just dumb. Things like this will help avoid stuff like that. Let's see. Alright, so I'm actually going to make sure this has strict safeguards attached to it so that this is all this model does. So it's not going to use very many resources. It's just going to sit there. It's going to essentially just rewrite the commit messages before it pushes. I think it's also going to be helpful for people like Dad, where he does have some writing disabilities, which is alright. Again, he's still a really, really smart guy. You can give him credit where it's due. This kind of thing, though, does help people in this situation. So let's see. So yep, that's been done. RDP's been set up. Means again, you're not going to see this while I'm working on this, but it's all right. So system control, enable. Oh, you got to set up the actual configuration file. And don't be dumb like me. What is the name of the file? Start window. Wait. Yeah. Wait, why am I even bothering with RDP? Why wouldn't I just do SSH? What was I doing with it? I'm trying to remember. Yeah, no, I don't even need... I got ahead of myself. Welcome to me. I believe I already have SSH on here anyways, so... If I need more than that, I'll do it later. Because like most of it's already there anyways. Gotta modify the SSH. Oh, nope. Sudo SSH SSHD underscore config. It's already port 2532. Cool. So this is actually already open. So what I need to do is check the address and we'll SSH into the machine using this other one. Alright, so we're gonna do SSH Natalie at, what's the address? 184, so 192.168.0.184. You got to make sure you specify the port, right, if you set it to a custom port. So we do that, we wait for the password. Yes, put in the password. There we go. Now I'm actually in the other machine, as you can see here. this is a different machine, Latitude E7450. This is actually running Accretion OS. Right. This is the stuff on it right now. I don't honestly remember everything I was working on, but the reason I even care about this is because if we do this, you'll see it's actually connected to all of our repositories, right? So since we're in the repositories here, what we can be able to do is build the test packages as we go. What I was actually working on, if you're curious, before we jumped on here, that was actually multiple things, but as you can see here, this was the model we were working on training, and then you'll see here, this was, this was easy. This was to make it where like Gemini and Claude and Copilot all just update themselves so I don't ever have to touch it again, because I just don't want to. It's less for me to have to remember, right? Because some of the stuff I do is kind of complicated, and I just don't want to have to use that brain space for that. So we'll do that. Cool. So I gotta. Oh, that's right. Okay, this is something else. I haven't announced this, and I won't for a while. I want to make sure this works perfectly, but I have a functioning prototype. So, alright, it's not that complicated. Think of this like an Arch image, but with the Accretion OS repositories. Okay, this is why I actually opened up that other machine right here, because if I go ahead and add the config file for Pacman, this actually will give us the address for the repositories. But you'll see it actually points at files. Dad did it the right way. I don't like doing it this way, but this is the right way to do it. It's for mainly if you have like a bunch of repos, but we don't. That's why it makes me grumpy when I look at this. I'll be grumpy. Deal with it. So we know the name of the repository is this, and then when we have to do, I suppose we could actually do it this way. I'll do it this way. This isn't quite the way I wanted to do this, but it'll be okay. So what we'll actually do is we'll go into the other folder where it stores the mirror lists, and you'll see in here all of the files, right? So again, this is not complicated. All we have to do is do this. Right, so if we do cat, which means show essentially, and then this directory, and then you do mirror.star, it'll actually show all of them, including the pack new file, so you can see what's in them. That was not right. One of these is still, yeah, it was the backup file. Alright, we're actually just going to move it because I do want to keep that. I think there was a reason I had that there, so we'll name it this. That's totally fine. Gotta actually give it permissions, that kind of helps. And then now you'll do what I just did. We can do it that way too. So as long as that's in the name. So we'll go ahead and do this. We'll copy it over. And then what we'll do is we'll have it go ahead and assemble it. So I need you to make sure it uses the Accretion OS repositories, not the Arch1X repositories. So there is a very, very, very good reason for this. So the biggest difference, and we even tell people this because it's not really that big of a difference, is we maintain our own repository. So what that means is to make sure you and I do not get unstable updates, we handle the repositories ourselves. We only release them when we know they work, right? We do the absolute best we can to avoid problems. People try to say, are you Manjaro? No, we're not. Manjaro does maintain all of their repositories entirely. We don't do that. All we do is we pull upstream, then we do some testing. If we see any problems, we then go fix a bug, or then we'll go report it upstream or whatever, and we'll get it fixed before you guys get it. That's the only difference. We're essentially functioning as a maintainer for the repositories, essentially. That's it. We're not the developers for that. Not at all. Let me see. So, updated. Cool. Call the build process. Yep. Alright. I need you to go ahead and push up these files. Make sure to make the required branches. Add, commit, push, merge, delete, so on. So by having this do it, it means I'm not sitting here for 20 minutes doing that, because I probably could do it. It's just, now I don't have to. So nice. Peace of mind. But yeah, this is the reason why I like AI, right? And I'm all about it, and it's just fine. It's doing things like this. It makes things, the menial tasks, significantly easier and less annoying. Yeah, that's fine. Right, and then it also means now at the same time I can start working on multiple things. There is no Paru, so now we're actually going to tell it to don't bother with Paru. We only use Yay as the alternative. There's a reason we stuck with Yay. Okay, one, I'm way more familiar with it. Two, I know Paru is the modern replacement. I'm actually pretty sure it's made by the same person, but I want to get more familiar with it, get to do testing before I even consider us moving. And plus, it's like, if it ain't broke, you don't fix it. It's not broken, it works. I have no reason to switch it. Okay, I'm not using Docker stuff right now, so we can close out this window. And then you can see here, yeah, that's just that machine. So, on this, nah. What do you mean I'm missing system binary? Go ahead and install the binary. So, as I said, I've done some really hacky things so far. One of my maybe side projects I might do is like a translation layer for Linux commands to run on Windows. There's a reason for that. I'm getting really tired of having to use the Windows counterpart of things, or then things don't exist or whatever. It's really old. Alright, we're doing it. Screw this. We are going to make a program to Windows translation layer, then run the Good, right? I've already made a custom wrapper, not more than a wrapper, but it's an installer, and what it does, so I can avoid all the GUI BS. And I know it has a silent option, but this way is even easier. I literally just type the word install in my PowerShell window, and then I go to the directory, and then I just choose whichever one, hit enter, and let it install in the background. So much easier than going next. I don't give a shit. I just want to use my software. That's really all it is, and I know I'm not even that different from the average person thinking that, right? If anybody wants the dot files for this, I'd be happy to post them up on GitHub. I just a little worried to do that. So if you really want them, I might just put them on our GitLab under a private repository. You'll have to come talk to me, and I'll give you access to be able to clone them. But yeah, again, no, this is Windows. This is not Linux. So I tried to get Accretion OS to dual boot a few days ago. I got really flustered because we've been working through a few bugs, but again, it's not Accretion OS's fault. It's actually that laptop right there. It has some weird BIOS stuff. It has to do with the modern BIOS providers that HP and Dell have been using, which, ironically, Dell and HP are the two providers of these laptops. or the makers, not providers. Dell made some really good ones back in the day, but the modern ones are just as bad as the modern HP ones are. This modern HP one, it forces BIOS updates on you. Like, it forces. If it detects one, it'll force reboot and update. To me, that's so wrong. Give me the option. The older ones, like this Dell Latitude E7450, the other one I remoted into, that's freaking awesome. I can choose to update it. I can choose to downgrade it if I want to. But no. I've actually considered getting another one of these E7450s. The problem, though, is like I need more power than 2 cores and 4 threads. It just isn't enough for streaming like this. That's just the unfortunate reality. I've considered, not that I'm going to do it, considered getting like a little cheap little machine with like a RX 460 or something just for streaming, because again, I'm not doing high bit rate, I'm not doing high resolution, really anything, that kind of thing, right? Like I'm not worried. I'm more just showing you guys how to do some of this so that you can learn and can contribute, do whatever you like, have fun with us, that kind of thing. So actually let me go ahead and select the stream, refresh. Yeah. Let's see if there's any chat. Yeah, so there was one view. Let me look at the chat. Is there... Okay, I guess I'm going to pull it up on my phone. Alright. Cool. It's popped up on my phone now. Now I can watch the chat. It'll be right there. Okay, so let me glance over at it. Yeah, as you can see here, though, it's just putting it here in the background. And then you'll see it's going to ask me for my password. So most of the stuff I have installed are actually just web apps. It works really well. We can do that. Oops. Just like that. Now it's probably going to check the status of the service, and then we'll move on from there. Yeah, I get so tired of updating things. The only thing I'm not going to set up automated for stuff like this is going to be the actual system updates. That's just stupid. Don't do that. Like Dad and I like to say all the time, the idea of a true rolling release is just kind of ludicrous. I'm just being completely honest. All you're asking is for instability. And it's not even that instability itself is a problem, right? The problem is people come into places, things like Arch Linux, they get all excited and they're like, oh, I'm a badass, I can do this, oh my god, which I'm not saying they're not, to be clear, but it does have a learning curve, right? Because it does, that's just part of it. The biggest problem usually is that they don't truly know what they're doing, and then they break something, and then they blame Linux. That's the reason why we built Accretion, and was like, okay, we need to have something that's a middle ground for people who don't want to have to learn, but then get the same benefits as Arch Linux. Right, as I've told people multiple times, we're trying to be Linux Mint of the Arch space, and that's all we're doing. And we're doing a pretty good job of that so far. We're not trying to do more than that, right? I don't know why everybody thinks we're trying to change the world in that regard. It's not really the point of what we're doing. So, yeah. Cool. That's finished. I'm thinking, so, alright, what path are we on? We're in projects, so we can kill this out. We can list out. These are the projects we have access to right now. I'm not worried about OpenVidu right now. We're not worrying about that yet. So you'll see here we actually have a Llama models. Yes, but we're not going to do that yet. I was working on the Accretion Arch installer, which is exactly what it sounds like. I forked off the Arch installer pretty heavily and made that. I just didn't really like what they did with it. I thought what they were doing wasn't properly managed. You would have random breakage all the time. Specifically for what we tested was Cinnamon, right? The Cinnamon desktop environment kept breaking over and over and over again. Like, again, no shade. I'm not throwing shade at anybody. I think it has a lot to do with the maintainer that maintains Cinnamon. I'm looking at potentially maintaining it for us. We're just going to pull in what Mint does. If we have any problems, we'll make changes accordingly. I want to talk to Dad first about that, though. See if he's okay with that. I'll set up auto building for that. As you can see in here, let's see if I can make this bigger. I can. So you'll see there's a package built in here. So I've already built that. We're using Gemini. We went together and did this. Let me go ahead and scroll up and I'll show you. We just named it Accretion OS installer, just like Arch installer, right? It's kind of the same thing. But again, we modified the heck out of the Arch installer. We're obviously giving credit to where we're pulling it from. We're not going to take credit for work that's not ours because it's not ours on that part. That's not fair and that's wrong. Do we already have a build script in here? I want to make sure it's easier for Dad whenever he decides to build it, if he ever does. So let's go ahead and do this. I'm putting in these commands. So we'll do this. I gotta think. Yeah, I believe it's SF. And then we'll go ahead and give it permissions to execute. And then we'll go ahead. Oh my god. Alright, so it doesn't build. It failed to generate the checksums. So what we'll do to make this easier, obviously it had the wrong path. So what we can do, again, yep, and I know why I tried to pull from GitHub. It's not on GitHub. It's on GitLab. I didn't pay attention. Arch. GitLab.arch. It's not Accretion, that. Archlinux.org. I think we'll actually just fork it over into our repository on our GitLab. That probably will be easier. I know, ADHD is real. I get it. Leave me alone. Gotta sign in. Go to the SSO. Gotta remember. Which one do I use for this? Oh my god. Yes. Cool. Yeah, that's fine. One-time code. Where do I have this on my phone? I think it's Entei. Is it Entei or is it Proton Pass? Proton Auth? What? Take a minute to look for it. Don't you just love the world of two-factor authentication? I know I do. Only if people weren't so evil to make this stuff have to happen, you know? We got Entei Auth, cool. I don't believe it's in Entei, I believe it's in Proton. Cool. I don't believe it's in you. Ah, there we are. Proton Authenticator. Honestly, though, if you like things like Google Drive, Proton actually has a pretty cool alternative. They actually recently built a Docs and Word and spreadsheet alternative called Proton Docs and Proton Sheets, I believe is what they named them. Pretty good. They're working on a Google Hangouts or like a Google Meet alternative. If you remember Hangouts, let me know. I miss those days. They need to bring it back. Come on. But so we'll go ahead and hit import. Proton Pass. Import. No. Go back. Skip. Please, for the love of God, be here. Oh, I actually got to log on my account. That kind of helps. Yeah, sign in. Jeez. Come on. I know you want security. I get it. Like, just you start using biometrics. Come on. Why can't we just do that? Alright, go ahead and hit that. Continue. crashed. Of course it did. Please, for the Lord God, be in here. Or I'm gonna have to send off an email, and I don't want to do that. I think I'm gonna have to do that, aren't I? Continue. Nope, it's not in here. Oh, this is gonna be fun. Let's see. Are you an Ente? No, not photos. I want hot. Okay. We're gonna. You. I know I have it somewhere, right? Like I had to save it. It's not in here. Oh, okay. I gotta think. Oh, I know. I'm gonna show you something. The Android app is so messed up. But the web app, totally fine. I forgot about that until just now. Totally fine. So weird. So weird. So weird. Actually, I think it's in the AUR. I'm not on LinuxNet. Stop. Your brain is going a million miles an hour. Oh my god. Calm down. No. I'm not going to download it. No, it's not ending. It's open till May 2nd. Back. Download. It's downloading. Oh, yeah. Nope. And then I'll actually show you my install program here in a second once this is finished downloading. Let's go ahead and open up this and go to the right directory. So you go here. Yeah, we're in the right one. You got to make sure you're on PowerShell 7 if you're going to use this. It's not written for the old standard. And then we got to wait until it's finished downloading, or it might not cache it properly. I know I could write it to be better, but it's a utility. It's not like it's that big of a deal. Yeah, I ripped a wad out of this installation. I'll see if I even have a task manager still in a minute. Proton Authenticator. Cool, that's the name of the package. So, install. Alright, and then what we'll look up is Proton. Auth. Yeah, so we'll go down. There it is. You hit enter and give it a second, and you wait. It'll be done in just a second. I probably should put like a better bar to show you as it installs, but the honest reality is it's the same kind of concept as like downloading, right? Because it is just moving files essentially. So whenever you download, right, the Windows bar for that's wrong like every single time because of the way it's designed. It's going to be the same for this, so it doesn't even matter that much. You just have to be patient. Yeah, kind of all I can say, you know. Let me see if there's anything on my phone. Cool. No. Cool. But yeah, I essentially made a Rofi, is what I did, and then I ripped out the desktop environment. Is what I did. I'm sorry, this still cracks me up. So what we'll do is we'll do this. Let's see, just to prove. I think I have such on here. Yeah, hey, it's Windows 11 IoT Enterprise LTSC. I did some renaming inside of stuff so it wouldn't update. It's not even using the right kernel. That's intentional. There's only 17 packages. 17. I wrote my own window manager force. I'm not trying to flex. I'm sorry. I'm just proud of this. I'm just very proud of this. I do need to clear up some space and start mounting network drives at some point, though, because as you can see, my drives are pretty full. My RAM usage is still pretty high. That's the reason I do most of my building on other machines. There's only so much I can do to limit that kind of stuff, and as you can see, I have a ton of tabs open. If I were to close them all, this would drop significantly. As you can see, I actually overclocked this processor by 190 megahertz. This is normally a 1 gigahertz processor. So there is that. I maxed out the the VRAM for the GPU. Yeah, I had GPU on this, that's why streaming's okay. I had fun. I spent like 9 hours optimizing this thing, I think, like 5-6 days ago. Wanting to make sure it's gonna be alright. The laptop display over there is actually broken, but like everything else works, that's why I do this. That works totally fine. But yeah, so like, I believe it's Top that I have installed. Is it VTop? Oh, I know. No, I don't. What? We're gonna go check on this. L2W bridge generator. The script generates Windows batch files for common Linux commands. No. Well, okay, so Microsoft's already done a lot of the heavy lifting for us with WSL. So if I can use like some of the same platform that WSL does to make our Wordle run, we'll do it that way. I think that'll be easier. I don't know all the permissions. I haven't read all their documentation, but I'm gonna kind of assume some level of hardware access, considering they somehow managed to get the Linux kernel to run on top of it, of the NT kernel, without true emulation in WSL2. So like, I still want to meet the engineers who did that. That sounds pretty sick, I'm not gonna lie to you. Sounds kind of cool. So that's what we're working on right now. What were we doing here? This is just training the model. So okay, we are going to then we'll go ahead and check here. Yeah, this is just for the addresses from earlier. Still installing the package, that's totally fine. Go next. Alright, let's go ahead and do that, and then we wait. I can go and close this tab, I'm not too worried about it. That, oh, yeah, so we're waiting on that so I can get the password to get into the GitLab for this. And then I can actually go ahead and close out some of these windows. I don't really need them open anymore because I'm not going to be watching them. That was me having fun earlier. I wanted to show a friend of mine what I want to do. There's that, my passwords, cool. But yeah, as you can see here, the navigation's pretty easy. The only thing I haven't like 100% worked out, but I did figure out a workaround, is if you look at Chromite, right? I replaced everything having to do with Microsoft Edge with this in its web view, because just to be frank, how do I put this the right way? Screw you, Microsoft. That's all I can say. We'll go ahead and open up the file manager, and then we'll head on over to actually I'm gonna run this a different way. I don't want to do it in the GUI, you'll see why. So we're gonna go ahead and hit plus. I'm gonna go ahead and enter. If we go into desktop, you'll actually see that. Yep, nope, that's not it. We'll go back, go into downloads, and you'll see here, okay, there's a bunch of hidden files. So yeah, that's right, they use a different command, and that's just an alias. Yeah, as you can see, these are hidden folders. That's what the -h flag does. So I actually have a program in here to do updates, if I remember right. I should have a program in here to do updates. Gotta remember where. Not drivers. I swear I do, because it's a Windows Updater Manager. I'm still learning syntax. There it is. So if you go into WE Manager, this is a different way of doing updates. So did it? You didn't. No fucking way. Oh, I'm so mad. This was such a cool little utility too. Did Microsoft? I'll be so mad. Fine. We'll want to go get it again. I love this little utility. So basically it allows you to pull manually, which is pretty sick. What? Fuck you too. We're gonna do this. What in the actual... I did not say F you. Why are you being like this? Are you fucking kidding me? Fuck you. I'm sorry, I just... makes me so mad when they do shit like that. Trying to deprioritize it to not let people know where things are. What the fuck? Alright. I'm gonna go to desktop. And I'm gonna go ahead and do a wget. Paste that in. I'm gonna go and pull it. Fine. We'll use the native package manager and we will we can do it this way, I suppose. We can grab the fork. Here we go. Copy link. I don't mind going out of my way to do this stuff. Go ahead and do you. And you'll see me go into projects. Make a directory called wget. Oh, helps if you actually use the right command. Probably -o. Oh, that's right. They have a different one for Windows. Is it capital? There we go. Cool. So it's going to go ahead and pull. It accepted it. Good. They have their own personal server. So it's downloading. Good. But yeah, so what we're going to do is we're going to do that. And then what we'll do is we'll put in wget, the binary. I'm assuming this is just a binary we're downloading. And then we'll go ahead and set it into our path. That's all we're going to do. Good. It downloaded appropriately. So there is a wget exe. So what we'll do... AI-CLI. I need you to move this wget.exe as a system program, and then please make sure to add it to the system path so I can execute it as wget. But yeah, if we do it this way, right, it's really not too hard. The puny module, that's fine. Welp, it broke. npm install and Google Gemini CLI. Is that it? it probably broke itself. We can do that. Yeah, we're doing the other stuff on the server, so that's fine. I was just making sure it wasn't gonna break anything else that we're already working on. This is totally fine. The Windows binaries are the same. They're just packaged for Windows. I think they compile them. Yeah, probably compiled the same too, because right, they use Node. So I don't think there's a big difference between the Linux and Windows versions of Node. I know there's a difference between C because of the versions they use, but there's literally a conversion program for that too. It's not even that hard. Let me see. At some point I need to get back and talk to Sanal about stuff. I think I'm gonna be up all night, to be honest. This is gonna be a long night. I can feel it already. Mania is a very real thing, if you're curious. I do suffer from a few different mental illnesses, but it does allow for me sometimes to be able to have times like this where I can just work. But you'll probably see me crash later, and I'll go do other stuff. That's just how my stuff works. Oh, that hurt. I'm sorry. I'll be alright. That hurt. But, let's see. So hot in here. I'm gonna go open the window. I'll be right back. You know, whenever it gets like really hot in here, I start sweating way too much. It's bad. So you'll wonder why there's always so many deprecated notices on packages. I have no reason to update them. Most people don't have just free time to do that. Or Google's using AI to develop AI, which I wouldn't be surprised. Like, let me think. Yeah, there's been times. I have another machine around here somewhere. I'm not really sure where, to tell you the truth, but considered just setting it up to be like a little AI bot thingy. Okay. So we went ahead and reinstalled it. Now what we're gonna do, we'll try that again. Nope. Database URL. This has to do with the local, probably PostgreSQL database, I'm willing to bet you. That's fun. Something's probably occupying port 5432, I'm going to assume, so I don't know the Windows command for that, to tell you the truth. But we'll see. Alright. Let's do it that way. Nope. Cool. I have no idea if I have any quota left whatsoever in this. If this doesn't work, I will jump over to continue and use that. Oh, cool. Oh, that's on the server too. Of course it is. What's the command? You'll see. Don't knock it off, Nat. Stop being stupid. There we go. This is a cool little utility. What it does is it lets me use the server in there and its its resources how to do this stuff. You gotta be patient. But this probably won't work. Nope, it won't. It's using bash, not PowerShell. There we go. And of course it's using NPM. Seems like everything uses Node these days, Node.js. Fucking lazy people. Cool. So we'll do... I don't know where they're storing the file for this, but cool. It does have a config. So what we'll do, you'll see what I'm going to do here. So we're going to need another tab, just like that. We're going to have to SSH in. So yeah, slow down, Nat. SSH, Natalie 2, fly. Oh my god. Go here. We're gonna have to go to pass the web app. It's gonna require a password. Cool. Then we'll go server. Wait a second. Yep. And then you're actually going to see a list here in a minute. So what we do is we go into cut.config. And there's actually going to be a folder in here called continue. It should be. Is it continue? Oh no. Which is it? Oh no, where is it? Is it? It actually might be. Oh no. Please, for the love of God, not be here. No. No. Did she... I gotta calm down. I gotta fucking calm down. We'll do it this way. Alright, exit. Cool. Fine, fuck you too. I don't want the desktop. But we can just use NPM. Yeah, that's totally fine. We'll use Scoop or Choco. We'll use Choco. Yep. You'll see what OpenCode is. It's actually kind of cool if you're not familiar with it. Should probably check on the other stuff too. Cool, that's fine. You're checking the version to go. Yeah, dummy. Yeah, that's fine. That's fine. Check the next tab. Next tab. Cool. So we'll go into tools. Alright, now we'll go into message moderator. You'll see here. I'm not going to install this, obviously. Now I need to go. We're actually going to move this. What we'll do, because this is kind of a side project, I guess. I could just type in GitInit, but I want to make sure the address is specified so it doesn't assume GitHub or GitLab.com. Again, I could probably go look it up, but I don't feel like it. Cool. Go into here. I'm gonna list out mostly here, right? Back. We're just working on this. What is under tools? Yeah, we're gonna move tools. Back. What did I just name this? God. I think I'm getting tired. Message moderator. Ah, that's right. There it is, commit manager. Then we'll go ahead and go push it. Actually, we should probably do it this way. Alright, so we're gonna do git branch. No, we really should push this as the end. No, it's already been pushed though, so we'll go ahead and do git branch. Could actually go to it. I think by having something like this, it's actually going to make it where we don't have to worry too much about whenever people are basically making commits, right? So, branch, what do you mean? It's already there. Oh. Okay, I suppose. Git remote. Add. What? Okay. I'm going to assume this is the address. Commit manager. Cool. Set upstream. Yeah, because we're only pushing to this branch right now. We're not even we're not even pushing in the main. So for a second, I hope this works. I don't think this is going to work. Or I would have done it by now. Alright, I guess I gotta do this in the UI. Welcome to the world of dumbassery. I feel so stupid. I know I'm not stupid, but I can feel that way. Alright, come on. Could just start doing this, I suppose. No. We're just gonna do this. So, like, honestly, I have to give Microsoft credit on this one. PowerShell is actually a pretty cool language. It has a lot of problems, but I kind of like it. I'm not gonna lie. Cool. Oh. Helps if you're on the right tab. Bash kind of can't read PowerShell. I will run this. I ran this same thing again. Cool. Whatever. Cool. So add new profile, enter site name. This sucks. Nope. No, this is supposed to be a fully functional dynamic GUI. Come on. That's not what I told you. That's all I'm gonna say, bruh. It started warning my language and who I am, so me saying stuff like that, it kind of gets it. Alright, so we gotta reset the shell, or refresh it, I suppose, not really reset it. Fine. Fuck you too. Yeah, no, it's broken. You're gonna start seeing me use some not very nice language with it, or it won't listen. No! I have a feeling this isn't gonna work. Because I kind of think this is the same thing again. We'll see. It is. It's in a stuck loop. If you're wondering what's happening, that's what you do. You do a new one, and you go. If you go to another tab, it'll give you a different, essentially a different machine. Enter site name. Actually be Natalie. I didn't open it. Oh, you know why? Because I was stupid. Calls up you actually put in the right address. Nope, it doesn't actually work. This way it's easier than me having to do it by hand. Yeah, no, this isn't gonna work. What we'll do, we'll just install Gitkraken, not a bad old client, and we'll handle it that way, because we're gonna need our GitLab and our GitHub to update things. I could set it up on the back end to do that. I don't feel like doing that right now. I just have to go into the GitLab, into the mirroring section of these settings and do it. Then I gotta do it for every single repository. Dumbest design in the entire world. And they don't have a global option in the admin settings. Or not that I have found. If there is one, let me know. I would love to have it. But there isn't. So I could technically write like a like a script that runs like once an hour that copies everything over and pushes it, but honestly, I don't want that running all the time. Because what if we're in the middle of something or whatever? That's bad. No, we need admin permissions. Cool. We have to do this. A bunch of this. We can't get rid of that, unfortunately. Even though user account control is the most buggiest piece of crap in the world. It's awful. I mean, I suppose we could replace it. I don't know. We'll see. I actually might work on that in a minute. I feel like it. Let's wait until after we install this, and then we'll do that. Why not? I know we're jumping all over the place like this. I get it. Here's the thing, though, you'll learn about me. I do all this, but then I'll always get back around to what I was doing. It's just like, because what I see, this is the way my brain goes. You have the top branch, right? Which then breaks down into 3, which then breaks down into 5, and I go down each branch as I need to, accomplish a task, go back up. Go down the next branch, accomplish the task, go back up. That's the way I work. Most people can't do that, but I can. I've always had to. My brain's just wired that way. Even when I'm tired, which I am. Just can't sleep. I haven't, I slept like all day today because I was tired. Or, I suppose it's yesterday. No. What time is it? Yeah, all day yesterday. The first of every month is so stressful. Rent day, gotta pay a couple bills, that type of bullshit. I don't think anybody likes the first. I know Dad hates the third for the same reason. Had rent day. And they use something called Rent Cafe. I used that back in Oklahoma, and to say it's bad is a very, very nice way of putting it. They just wanted to have an online option, which I totally get. It's easier to do processing, even if it's like $3.50 more. Because here's the thing: it still costs like $5 to go get a what are they called? Money order or cashier's check, depending on your type of bank or credit union. You get one or the other. Right, it usually costs $4 or $5. It's actually cheaper to do it online. And you still have a portal to prove you did things. I just recommend people take backups of those. Save the actual site itself. You can hit Control S on your keyboard. You can save the HTML files. That did not work. There's a buzz bringing res. There we go. Okay. Of course it has to re-download it. Fucking morons didn't just leave it cached. We did just wipe the cache, but still. You would think they would put the actual executables for installation somewhere else. Apparently they don't. Maybe that's just my Linux brain. I don't know. Oh. I'm gonna go ahead and keep working. I'm not gonna stream anymore though tonight. I don't really feel like it. If you want to come chat and hang out, my Discord will be open in the background. I'll be able to hear it, and I'll come and say hi. But yeah, I'll probably stream tomorrow. Meaning like later today. I don't know yet. We'll see. But yeah, I'm gonna keep working on this stuff. Probably watch some shows while I'm working on stuff. That's why I was gonna turn it off. I don't want to get copyright stricken. But yeah. This is the life of an Accretion OS dev. You work on like 5 to 7 things all at the same time. You guys don't have to do this if you ever want to contribute. This is just the way my brain works. I'm weird, and I know that Dad's brain doesn't work this way either. We accept traditional workflows if you want to do that. You don't have to though. All we ask is you go ahead and use branches appropriately. We ask you make issues so we know what you're working on. And we'll leave suggestions, comments, whatever it may be on them. Yeah, we primarily do use the Discord though for communication for now. The whole new policy with IT and everything is, I don't like that. Not because like I have a problem with the government having my ID or anybody's ID. They're the one who fucking distributed it. I don't give a shit. It's the fact they're using these third parties to process them, and they're legally supposed to do one thing, but we all know they're crooked companies usually that do this, and they'll just end up selling it off to some other person or company or whatnot, and I'm not going to give it to them. So, that's actually not supposed to go into effect until later this year now. However, to get around that, right now we actually opened up a rootapp.com community. It's very, very similar to Discord and like almost like an exact clone. The company claims to have a better vision, and their terms of service and whatnot say that too so far, but their funding sources are actually kind of the same for the most part, or at least the early days of Discord, very similar. So that's cool for now. I give it like 5 years, they'll be the same thing. But yeah, you'll notice though I have a fork called Ermin that I'm working on of Stoat, which I'm actually building to be a federated alternative to Discord. It's going to take a while to finish up. I can tell you that right now. And hopefully by the time we have to switch off, it'll be working and it'll be functional. I don't expect everybody to adopt it, but I do want to give people the opportunity and the option to not have to get fucked by Discord or by Root or any of these corporations. And then again, it has nothing to do with their corporation. It has to do with, these are just straight up decisions they wanted to make. Right? Like, this isn't about money for me. This is about freedom and choice and whatnot. I get the internet costs money. I get that servers cost money. So you know what you do? You take them out of the fucking picture and you just all host them yourselves. We pay the power bill. We pay the internet bill. We put it on the computer we buy. The end. That's why you federate it. I know why they're all central. They make more money that way. But if we make an alternative that's better, or works better, then of course it's going to be better. I'll go ahead and show you the website before I hop off. You can head on over to Accretion website. You'll probably need to hit Control-Shift-R. It's going to wipe the website cache. Then you'll see here, Ehrman. If you click the page, it's going to take you to the site. This is a subdomain I put on accretionos.org that tells you a little bit about what we're working on. I'm the only one working on this right now, so keep that in mind. It comes on here and explains who's purchasing Discord, basically by becoming essentially the major stockholders. So Goldman Sachs, which is a bank, JP Morgan Chase, which I'm sure you know is a bank, Dragoneer, and Tencent is a Chinese company that is very known for very bad things. They're using the data beat for AI training and other things. I explained that Root is a thing, and it's not terrible, but then you look at who's actually funding them, it's very similar to the same people who originally fueled Discord, Headline Ventures, Convoy Ventures, Kung Gao, and Jack Dunlop. It's pretty much the same shady and centralized BS. You know, we explained that it can't be Discord, it can't be Root, it can't even be Matrix. Ehrman has to be its own self-ran thing that's federated, because if we try to build all of this on top of Matrix, it's actually not going to be great, and here's why. The Matrix protocol, it's fine, but then you look at things like matrix.org. If you actually look at a lot of these instances, policies, they actually do data collection. It's unfortunate, but that is what happens. And that's the thing, right? With this, I don't want your data. I don't give a shit. It's not my business. I don't want it. I don't want to have to host those servers. Screw that. You can do it without. I don't want it. But if you go down here, it's going to have pretty much the same UI, same type of chat interface, but it's going to be backed with a XMPP instead of something like IRC or an equivalent. And here's why. The XMPP protocol is older, yes, but it has a few different cool little quirks that I like. There's something called OMIMO, which is a encryption standard, which is actually pretty good. Then you have something called off the record, which means if you and I want to have a conversation in DMs, let's say, it'll only be on our computers, and then after our conversation it'll delete itself. And by doing it this way, and doing it federated, right, everybody hosting their own instances, they control their data. If they want to delete everything, they absolutely can. It's not my responsibility because they're hosting it. If this was a centralized platform, I would be the one responsible, but it's not. That's why it's designed the way it is. Secure calling, as of right now, we're going to probably use Jitsi as a backend. For that, though, it'll be very, very easy, very simple. Probably going to end up integrating it into, again, like I said, Jitsi, but I'm thinking about making the main one be the main Jitsi Meet website through them. I'll have to talk to them and see if it's okay. If they won't let me do that, then we'll have like a self-hosted instance as the primary one, and then we'll do people's own if they want. They can put in their own address within their communities and whatnot. Keeps the bill lower for everybody that way too. It also means privacy, right? You can control your own space. Then there's total transparency. I'm never going to lock down. It's going to be kind of Electron based, so can't really get around that. But they actually disable the developers menus in these other ones. I'm not going to do that to you. I want you to know I'm not taking your information because I don't want it. Right? Like these other ones say they don't let you know that unless you use something like Wireshark. Right? And I just kind of reinforce down here what we're doing. But yeah, this is again just going to be essentially rebuilding Discord. I actually have the time and the want to do this. That's the reason why I actually think it's going to get done. A lot of these other ones, you look at things like Stoat. This is why I forked off Stoat. You'll actually see here in a second. Let me actually show you something. This is why I forked off Stoat. I was going to use it, but it's one broken as all hell. When I say broken, I mean really broken. It's very, very, very old. They don't properly update it or maintain it for the Docker self-hosted containers. But if you go to stoat.chat, their primary one, right? Oh, it's perfectly up to date and works just fine. Not trying to be a dick here. Okay, I'm really not. To me, this doesn't look like the whole let's be open source and support freedom model. Okay, I know you can technically go out and host your own instance, I get it. But it was for the longest time missing a lot of this basic functionality that already existed on this. They claim it was just because they were being slow to update the main repositories. Here's the thing though, I'm not buying that. And the reason for that is, honestly, because you know how hard it is to type git add, git commit, and git push, or then make branches and do the same thing. It's not very hard. It doesn't take very long. And if you have automated building pipelines, it doesn't even take very long to build. And it doesn't take long to deploy if you do it properly through something like AWS or whatever you're using, right? I'm assuming they don't have that type of infrastructure. I could guess that based on what I'm seeing. And that's totally fine, right? But then you have things like GitHub, which offer a decent amount of free stuff. Their enterprise or like project tiers are super cheap too. And heck, if they can't do that, get a machine. Get a machine, you build it on your own machine, on your own power. Right, like it's not. And if somebody tries to say, oh, they don't have the money, I get that. So what you do is you buy an old Xeon machine off of eBay. You can usually get them for like $100, $150. And then just let it sit there, power it off whenever you're not using it, turn it on whenever you need to build, and push it on, push it up. It's kind of what we do, other than the server is usually in a minimal state, not off, right? That's generally what we do. We run it on like, it's like $20 a month for that machine, so that's why I just don't really buy it. I just don't. And buying a domain like stoat.chat super cheap. I'm willing to bet you they got that for like $5 because of the .chat portion. If it was a .org, they'd probably be quite a bit more. I don't know who they're using in the back end. I could probably tell you based on just looking here. I'm willing to bet you it's Cloudflare, more than likely. Network. Gotta actually drag you down. Oh, are they blocking it? Jeez. Let's find out who they're using. Oh, jeez. Yeah, you can see I have an account. That's weird. Don't tell me this is just basic HTML rendering. Please, for the love of God, don't tell me this is just basic HTML rendering. It is. You're joking. Yes, it's basic HTML, JavaScript. Again, I'm not trying to judge. I'm sorry. You don't do this. You just don't. What? I know there's definitely more to a backend, but yeah, this is just basic HTML. It's being auto-generated, as you can see by the randomized numbers, but it's a really weird way to do this. I don't know if I like this. Because, okay, let me look at something. I'm going to look at some security stuff. Please tell me they locked people out of this. Or didn't. Yeah, no. I'm not going to recommend this anymore. I'm sorry, I don't trust this now. You can tell they're using Google Cloud, I'm going to assume. I don't know. That I haven't figured out yet. Yeah, this isn't all what I thought it was. I have to do better than this. This is yeah. This is something else. You can tell they're using, that's just a font. Yeah. I want to know who they are running their DNS through though, because I don't see any Cloudflare protections or anything like that. Interesting. Let's refresh this page. You know, they're just loading in images. No wonder it's slow. It's literally just HTML pages being rendered in. Yeah. I appreciate all the work they've done. They're trying to make a good Discord alternative. I love the premise and I love the idea. I think they have a great future if they continue to try to make things better. I do not think just loading in HTML pages is appropriate for this. I'm sorry. I just don't. There's got to be some kind of I'm assuming there's pretty high quality control based on what I'm seeing here, because they are auto-generated sites. That's normal. That's good. I don't know how I feel about this, to be honest. Let's go ahead and open up the Archlinux one. Just more images being loaded on CSS and GIFs. Yeah. This is, yeah, no. Just no. I know at the end of the day it has to just no. I'm sorry, I'm not trying to be mean. I'm actually kind of disappointed that this is the way they're doing it. Okay, this is very disappointing when they're doing it this way. I get they're using Electron, clearly. However, there's got to be a better way than this, okay? Because truth is, if I wanted to, I could just inject into this site tons of things that could cause problems, and I'm not gonna do that because that's illegal. But this is a security nightmare, to be honest with you. 100% a security nightmare. Because, like, I can just straight up grab these assets, right? Like, let's see. Like, they just straight up show the CDN address, right? Like, I can go in. We'll go to my actual user so I don't download this in the system directory. If I can type. Curl. I'm going to assume this is going to work. Yes, that's fine. Yeah, it just worked. I mean, I'm willing to bet you it's hidden here in this directory somewhere. Let's see, what was the name of it? So, ls... What was the name of it? Q. It was under Q. Actually, might need to name it something. Probably not popping up because it has no, like, doesn't have a file format. Sorry. So what we'll do is we'll do curl. Then we'll do space uwu.jpg. Let's see. Okay, maybe that's not the right syntax for this. Maybe I gotta put the actual address. I'm used to Linux commands if you haven't figured that out. Users, Natalie, desktop. You know, that's not the syntax for Windows apparently. But yeah, I mean, this is actually like a legitimate concern, okay? Because if I can just go here and scroll off the address, and then I'll do yes, and I can just pull directly from it like that. That's dangerous. I'm sorry, like this just is very, very dangerous. I shouldn't be able to just directly get to their system like that. We do better than this on our server for our stuff. I might actually email one of them and ask them what the hell they're doing, because this doesn't make sense. This, no way. Seriously, no way. What? Why would you do it this way? Just, I don't think I've actually ever been this disappointed before. I was so excited about this platform too. And then I see this, just straight up direct addresses. You're doing it through a Chrome extension? This is probably mine. But, yeah, I know, believe me, I know how much work it takes to do this on the back end. If they're using their own, I don't know what CDN they're using though. That's what I kind of wonder. They are doing a redirect here, so where are they redirecting to? That's the real question. Go. Okay, interesting. Probably a patch, because they had to do it for whatever reason. This is just a font. Good. Good. You can see they're using Cloudflare because they're using Rocket. This is a feature of Cloudflare. Good job. What's this? If this is taking my location, I'm gonna have a problem with you. It is. Motherfucker. Okay. I did not consent to this either. Yeah. I know. I don't know if I'll actually ever get a response to this, but we'll find out. We're going to go submit a bug report. I don't think this is honestly a bug. I think this was intentional, but I would rather give them the opportunity to say something. You know, like, I'm not a bad person. In the show. Move this by. Yeah, like I'm not mad. I kind of think they just had the wrong approach on this. Oh my god. But yeah, I will go ahead and yeah. I hate it when they put lists. Lists have always pissed me off. Just to me, it comes across as like, oh, I'm better than you. Like, that's not the intention. We're going to do a feature request. Paste them. The current client. We're not doing this just for one distro, dumbass. We gotta be friendly, right? Like, we can't just be robot-y. I'm going to take this, head on over here. Right, this just does a better job at writing than I do. I can do it, I'm just not the best at it, you know? So, yep. Hit create. Yeah, we'll go ahead and send that over. We'll give it 12, 24 hours. If I, yeah. Yeah. I don't like having that there. Bothers me. Maybe it's OCD. I don't know. But yeah, I mean, like, I don't know. Something about that just rubs me the wrong way, you know? Like, I'm sorry, but like, whenever I go to a site that says they're privacy respecting and whatnot, and then they're just instantly pinging an API that takes my location, that's kind of a problem. Like, you know, I'm not judging. I get it. He probably did this for easy use to make this a little bit easier. I totally get that. Maybe this was like a temporary thing put down just because I needed to get it to work. I get that. But yeah, like going in and being able to go in and be like, hey, let's change this to do this. Okay. Maybe we might be able to actually go in and be able to specify which instance they're using. Because I told you I was forking it off, and I'm still going to do that, and I'm still going to build it into something else. But I would also like to contribute upstream and make sure people out there get the same results I'm going to get. I don't want people to be in a situation where where we're in a Discord 2.0 but they're pretending to be federated, which they're not even federated, but like, you know what I mean? Like, because right, federated, you'd be part of the Fediverse, this and that. It's just their own instances, right? But I don't want people to be second-class citizens because they decide to host their own. Whenever you are going for right, whenever you're going for privacy respecting stuff, you've got to give consent or get consent every single time. I don't care how small it is. Like, honestly, something like this is not a huge deal. This is probably for law reasons, I'm willing to bet. But it should say yes, a yes or a no. Right? Yeah, that threw me off a lot whenever I saw that. I was like, okay, I did not consent to that. Unless you just have implied consent, and then that is shady. Yeah, see, they're using Cloudflare. Like I said, we use Cloudflare too. But yeah, I mean, you can tell they're using standard icons. They're just pulling in PNG and JPEG files, which is really interesting. I'm surprised they didn't use the WebP format. The WebP format is significantly lighter. There should probably be something on the back end. That's if, let's say, somebody uploads a PNG file to convert it over to WebP, because it's so much smaller. Right, and if they're having hosting costs as it is, it could significantly lower those costs. It would also mean lower load too, because WebP is significantly easier to render than PNG or JPEG is. Yeah, I'm looking. Yeah, these are just all endpoints. Geo, yep, same thing again down here. Like, I get it. I understand why they're doing it. There has to be a better way. And they're using Caddy just like I am. Yep. This is actually going to a real machine. It's not even a VM, I don't think. It's kind of weird. I don't know. I'm looking. Okay. This needs to be obfuscated. It's a plain HTTP request. This is a problem. I'm sorry, if I can get this direct address, that is not good. Let me see. Okay. I just got curious, you know. Yeah, because I shouldn't be able to see this. I know it says it's a dynamic cache, but like at the same time. Yeah, I shouldn't be able to see that IPv6 address under protecting user data. So, like, let's say I were let's say I was somebody wanting to attack. I have their IPv6 address, and all I'd have to do is a DDoS attack, which I'm not gonna do, obviously, but I could. Oh no. Wait. Question is that theirs or is it mine? You don't need my fucking IP. I don't believe this is mine. Yeah, no, that's the remote address. Yeah. There's no way they're doing the same thing. No, that is their Stout.chat application, so. You know, like I'm not a pen tester, but like I only took 10 minutes to look at it. Like it's okay to like struggle, you know, but just be honest about it. I really don't think they are even thinking about security when they made this. You know, like yeah, we've ran into the MITM stuff. We've been having to protect our stuff from it. And it's been a pain. I'm not saying it's easy, but you still gotta do it. Like, I'm just gonna be honest. I'm gonna give them some time. Probably the next 24 hours or so. If I don't hear anything, I'll give them about a week. If I don't hear anything back past them, probably gonna make a post somewhere. Cause like this is a concern. This is a real concern. People are on Stoat expecting privacy first. This is not. This is not gonna be private. I'm sorry. If I can open up the developer console, go on the network and see every little bit of traffic. See the address it's coming from through Cloudflare. It wouldn't take me very long to figure out the source, to be honest with you. Again, I'm not gonna do anything. I'm not that kind of person. I know what it's like to run a project like this. It's fucking hard. It's not easy. It's very, very hard. It's almost like somebody overlooked it, or they didn't know anything about networking when they started it, and that's okay. Nobody's judging. Just to be clear, I get it. People have different skill sets, and I get this was. I think this was initially started as more like, hey, a fuck you Discord kind of thing, because nobody likes Discord because of their practices, but they were kind of the only platform you could really go to. And I get this as a very, very young project, and get that too. But yeah, I'd love to help them out in the ways I can if they want to. I just put up an issue. They're welcome to email me at natalie@accretionwest.org and we can chat, and they can pull me into a Jitsi call, a Brave Talk, whatever. Just not Discord, please. For the love of God. If you tell me to call you on Discord, we're gonna have a chat. Anyways, I would prefer something like Jitsi or Brave. Not gonna charge anything. I don't care on that. I just don't want people to have their information pulled like that. Because like Cloudflare does protect as much as they can. from things like DDoS attacks okay, right? Like your main machine's not going to get hit for the most part. But if I were to find your main IP, so like I said, it really wouldn't probably be that hard. And if I were a threat actor, I would be able to just go directly to the IP instead of even thinking about Cloudflare, right? And if I can get into your main machine, then I can start sending everybody malware. If I were a threat actor, but I'm not. So I don't know. I'm just a little disappointed. A little bit disappointed. You would think something like this would do a better job with their networking. A lot of this, honestly, could have just been avoided if you guys used tunnels. Just use Cloudflare tunnels. I wouldn't be able to see a damn thing. Truly, because right, it just connects directly to Cloudflare using that service over port 443, and Cloudflare goes to it and says, "Hey, let's read this file," which is usually etc Cloudflare. I believe it's etc Cloudflare deconfig.yaml. It's a config file. I don't remember what format, but you put it in there and you just put in the addresses, the ports. Then you put a 404 page on the bottom. That's it. Because I highly doubt this is on one machine based on what I've read so far. So like I get that. It's gonna be hard. But you can't have that many instances yet, I'm willing to bet. Unless you have like hundreds of instances, which I still would do this. I would tell everybody, hey, switch them over, because it doesn't take very long to switch over to tunnels. It's very easy. There's a Cloudflare D package and most distros. There's even a direct install command. I mean, it's pretty easy. It's just a service you run. I don't know, a config file, and that's literally it. So it also means all of your traffic is encrypted pretty heavily. It also means they can't watch what you're doing, which is nice. So like if you ever to open that up, all I would see is the randomized address. So it'd be like 7, 9 queues, so on and so forth. I wouldn't be able to just grab the IP and push back. Right, if I'm going to somebody publicly, that's what I would do. Because I'm willing to bet you in your DNS records, you have those probably like stow.chat, right? So if you're doing a CDN through them, which again, that's not even you guys handling that. I'm thinking like your Geo, right? That's probably just a DNS record that you guys set with an address pointing somewhere to a machine, whether it's a VPS, whatever. Yeah, you could have set that up as a tunnel very simply. You just gone into the Zero Trust menu inside of Cloudflare. Then you would have made a tunnel. You would have installed the. You actually would have. I can't think of it. There's two terms. There's a token, and then there's also another one, basically the address for it. Essentially, the tunnel itself. You'd put that in. You'd install it. You would then turn around and go ahead and put in your internal ports as well as the subdomain names. And then you would go ahead and include what files you're going to use, and then you would go ahead and register it in using the port. After that, you would just have to register it to the tunnel itself, and it'd come online. It's after obviously restarting Cloudflare D. It's really not hard. I think the biggest problem that would be so difficult is if you guys have like 100+ instances, then you'll have to tell every single one of them how to do this. I just write a piece of documentation, send it out, be like, do this at that point. Or have like a group call and do something like that. That's what I would probably do. Yeah, I get worried. When I see stuff like that, I get nervous. Like, I can't use the platform until I see that get fixed. I love that platform too. It's freaking awesome. It's again, self-hosted one was missing a lot of features for a while. That's why I forked it off. But I like the premise of the platform, and I love what it's doing. I'm just trying to for lack of words, do a giant middle finger to Discord, and that makes me feel good. I'm not gonna lie to you. Yeah. I know, I got on the tangent. I'm sorry. I don't know. Something about that rubs me the wrong way. It's just, I care about people, and I don't want something bad to happen. So, on that note, I'm going to go ahead and wrap up this stream for a little bit. Probably just going to watch some shows, work on stuff. If I feel like here in a couple hours, I'll get back on the stream some more. So, on that note, you guys have a good night, okay? Be safe, take care, have a good night, and don't forget to go check out my website, sprungirls.org.